Well, welcome to yet another episode of Nerds with Badges. August the 1st, month of my birthday, actually, August 15th, will be 57 years old. I can't believe it. Time flies. So it's Saturday, Monday for me, just Saturday for everybody else. And I wanted to do a little review for Spider-Man. I went to see it today. Spider-Man Brand New Day. And, well, if you haven't seen the movie, there are going to be some spoilers. Uh, so, it was a really good story. I found myself getting a little teary-eyed towards the end. Uh, there was a comic book that came out many years ago, which featured Spider-Man. It was called The Other. It was the story about him going through his metamorphosis, which you've seen in the trailer, where he's spinning webs and the webs coming out of his hands now instead of the web shooters. He mutated. They don't explain why it happens. It just happens. Peter's getting these really bad headaches. He goes to Professor Hulk. Yeah, well, not Hulk, but David Banner, Bruce Banner. I always get confused because I know in the old show, it's a homophobic reason why they changed the name of the character. It's just so it just kind of like stuck with me. So I guess they're calling him Bruce Banner. But anyway, Bruce Banner wears this thing on his arm. It helps him control his mutation, his turning into the Hulk. So Peter is able to create something to help him control his emerging weird spider powers. I mean, I don't know if it's like a secondary mutation. Because in the comic books, he mutated because the bad guy beat the crap out of him and he died, and then he just like spun a cocoon and healed completely, and then when he came out of the cocoon, he had webs from his hands and his powers were more advanced. But this just happened in the movie, maybe because he was stressing out over not being able to be with Mary Jane, or whatever they're calling her in the movie, MJ, because they cast a spell in the other movie and made everybody forget, because Mysterio exposed him to the world and framed him for murder. So Jean Grey, she's there in the mix. She's doing these really bad things, but she's doing all these bad things because she's trying to find her sister who's been kidnapped. Of course, you find out later that she wasn't kidnapped. Now, this version of Jean Grey is very powerful. I mean, I like how they handled her telepathy, and then she later develops the telekinetic abilities because she didn't have that initially. This kid is powerful enough to like seize control over half the city. She did that thing that Professor X did in one of the X-Men movies, where Iceman got into an argument with someone, or somebody got into an argument. Or maybe it was Pyro, and Professor X just like, everybody just froze, because he used his powers. And I guess the same thing was kind of happening in Logan when he lost control of his powers. So yeah, Jean Grey is pretty damn powerful. And I still hate that they killed off Aunt May. I mean, I really hate that they did that. I mean, he had to deal with Uncle Ben dying, and now he has to deal with not having Aunt May. I don't know what. I don't think that they should have done that. It was really interesting seeing Black Widow, or White Widow, show up and help. Punisher was great. I love the dynamic between him and Peter, and how they had to come together. And I knew that Spider-Man was going to need some help against the Hulk. So it actually turned out to be really good for him. I got this air conditioner blasting up in here. I got to put my jacket on. Anyway, I'm going to be starting my shift in a few minutes. And I thought I would be doing like a little 5-minute review, and it turned into I guess it's been 5 minutes. Oh, speaking of time, I think the movie is about 2.5 hours long. I think so. It didn't really feel long. I mean, it wasn't like there are parts where you tune out because it's boring or anything. I mean, it keeps you engaged. There is no end credit scene, but it's going to be interesting to see how they go. Oh, there is an end credit scene, but it's nothing that you will miss. If you sit there and you watch the end credits, you're going to be like, I sat here for 15 minutes and this is what I get. So it's just a little, nothing. It's a nothing burger, trust me. But yeah, the movie's like I think it's about 2.5 hours. It felt like maybe 2.5 hours long, because when you think it's over, it's really not over, which was really, that was really cool, because it was like, it's almost like one of those concerts where you go to. I know there was a Jill Scott concert. For all those that don't know Jill Scott, she's an R&B artist. I remember she was doing a concert, and you think everything's over with, and she'd be, she's like, "Oh, y'all want some more? Oh, y'all want some more?" She comes back and does like some more songs, like like a couple of more songs, or So there is, when you think the movie over, when I thought the movie was over with, there was like an hour left, because there's like a pivotal point in the story when Spider-Man realizes that he's made a mistake, and Jean Grey is, you think she's a bad guy, but you understand her motivations, why she's doing the bad things. But I think it's going to be interesting to see where they go with Spider-Man at this point, being that he's become a whole lot more powerful. I mean, I'm sure you've seen the trailer, maybe you haven't, but in the trailer he shoots his webbing and he breaks a sword, this ninja sword, from the hand who Jean Grey, she's well, I don't want to give away too much of the movie. I'm going to try to be light with the spoilers. There is an appearance by the lady, I guess she's the mayor now of the city, the mayor, the lady who was in the Daredevil series, who was working for Kingpin. So I guess she's the mayor now. I like how they're finally like bringing in some elements from the TV shows, because one thing that annoyed me was when they had like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. coming on TV, and they really didn't interact that much with any of the other characters, with any of the MCU characters. I mean, Samuel Jackson was in a couple episodes. Sif showed up. Lady Sif showed up in some episodes, and I think that was it. I don't think there was any. Oh, the lights went out. Anyway, hold on. Motion detecting crap. Anyway, that's my cue. I gotta start my shift in exactly 6 minutes. But I just wanted to give a little review of the movie for anyone that wanted to go see it. It's definitely very good. It's actually, might be my favorite of all the Tom Holland Spider-Man movies. Actually, I would say yes. And it was grounded but yet spectacular. So now I gotta go see The Odyssey, which I know is like 3-4 hours long. So I will probably go see that sometime next week when I'm off. But yeah, Spider-Man was really good. Out of a 5, I personally would give it a 5 myself, because I really enjoyed it. I know maybe some people might disagree with me. It seems to be trendy to just hate everything, and I see a lot of that, and I'm just like, it kind of worries me sometimes, because I don't know what the hell, if it's and if it's not that people just hate on stuff, they just accuse anything of being woke. And I'm just kind of surprised that nobody said that about Spider-Man. Even there was nothing woke about the damn movie, but people will still find something to complain about. But it was a really good movie, and I hate that they don't do like movie tie-ins. I don't know if there was even Spider-Man skins for the. I think there was it might have been a Spider-Man skin for Marvel Rivals. I don't know. I can't remember. But back in the day, when I was coming up, whenever a big superhero movie came out, there would always be like some kind of tie-in, or even like a video game. They don't really do that anymore. I guess that's because it takes them freaking 10 damn years to make a game now. Anyway, I gotta go, but that's my little review for Spider-Man Brand New Day. Definitely go check it out.